Welcome back to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. A quiet track here on Thursday, but that doesn't mean that our microphones were quiet. We talked to IndyCar and Indy NXT drivers today, and we've got some silly season stuff as well as a preview of not only the IndyCar race, but also Indy NXT, which is having a standalone race tomorrow. Let's get into it. Alex Palou is the IndyCar points leader, and some people would call him champion-elect. I had a pretty cool interview with him. I figured I'd just play the entire thing because, he is the guy right now in IndyCar. There's no doubt about it, and we talked about everything, including the C words that he doesn't like: championship and contract.
A lot. I mean, we saw it in the past. Like last year, I think we struggled a little bit more in August than we did in May. The car just handles differently. Downforce is a bit less because of temperature, track temperature increases, grip is lower, so it's different for everybody. The good thing is that we won here back in May. Hopefully the car is as perfect as it was back in May, but we only have one practice to figure out and to try and improve the small details that we're missing. So it's going to change, hopefully not much for us, and we can try and defend the race win that we got in May.
What about this track suits your style? I mean, obviously a lot of tracks have suited your style this year, but what specifically about the Indy GP works for Alex Palou?
I don't know, honestly. I think it's just really close to a European track. It's just very smooth, one of the smoothest tracks that we have, lots of grip. It's quite short, honestly. That's why we see that everybody's so close. But on the same note, it's super tough, man. Like even if you're having a good weekend, we saw Fast 6 back in May. I was third, and I was like less than half a tenth from pole. So I think on other tracks, it's a lot easier to have just a clean lap and be up there. Here, you need to have perfect laps.
So when we're looking at the championship, the last couple of races have been absolutely amazing for you. You know, finishing second at Toronto with a broken wing, the kind of comeback at Iowa to finish on the podium. You know, looking at your championship right now, are you? I know you don't necessarily look at the championship, but you've got such a big lead right now. I think it's over a race lead. Does that change your attitude whatsoever? Is it a little bit easier now? Can you just send it, or is it more of protecting that championship lead?
I mean, we want to protect it, but we want to increase it as well. So, honestly, we've been racing as we've been doing since the first race of the year. We saw in Nashville, we took a real aggressive strategy because we were going for the win, not for the championship top 10 finish. So, I think that's what got us here, and I think we need to continue doing the same way as we started the year, which is going for wins. That's going to get us the most points and hopefully some more race wins this year. So yeah, we're still going for the races. Obviously we're looking at points, but yeah, we're not focusing and changing our strategies or the way we race because of the championship standings at the moment.
August, typically a time in IndyCar when contract negotiations can begin. I know you're deep in those, and I know you got a lot of people asking about this. Let's be honest. We know the situation. So where are you right now, status-wise? What do you want to accomplish for next year? Where do you want to be? Is it IndyCar? Is it Formula One? Is it a combination of both? Where do you want to be?
Well, I mean, if I can do both at the same time, I would take that. Honestly, we will see once the season is over. Obviously, it's getting to the end of the season. But I said since the beginning, we're not going to really say anything until the season is done. As you guys saw, this year we've been focused only on what's been going on the races, and I want to keep it that way. I want to finish the year as strong as possible, because then the off-season is so huge that we will have a lot of time to talk about it and to explain everything. So yeah, we'll see what happens.
So we talked to a variety of IndyCar drivers today about the Brickyard Grand Prix, and this is what they had to say about the Brickyard in August.
You know, it's a track where, for some reason, it seems to be all us European drivers. It sort of reminds us of home. It's just the way the layout is and the way the track runs. It just reminds of tracks in Europe. So I think that's why a lot of us just feel comfortable here very quickly.
The thing I just asked Alex is, what is the difference in a May race versus an August race here? Obviously, the temperature's much higher. What does that do to the racing? What does that do to the cars? What does that do to the tires?
Yeah, I think, like you said, the temperature is a big thing that's different, and usually with the hotter temps, more humid, it's harder for the tires, so it's more tire wear. It's going to be a bit more critical in the race to take care of the tires and sort of think about that. Strategy because of that becomes a bit more important as well. So usually the race is a bit different because of temperature mainly.
No, I don't think we have too much to take from May necessarily. I mean, we know what the track layout is going to be. It's going to be a different racetrack with cut rubber down, as well as just the hotter conditions. It'll be different. But I think just with the recent race experience, like I said, Nashville was very good for us. And I think I learned a lot, in the last few weekends where we've finished strong in races and had good race pace. And I think that just comes down to natural fuel in the car, the comfort level. And so I think that will apply more than the month of May. The month of May, we can just delete that from my memory. We don't need to do that over again. But yeah, hopefully, I mean, what we've learned in the last, month and a half has been more applicable for our success.
Very happy to be back. It's our home track, really. So no, it's awesome to be here, and I like 2 races here in this track.
So I've been asking all the other drivers, the big difference, of course, between this race and the one in May is the temperature. So how much of a factor does that make in the race, and how much does it change it? I mean, how much do you have to change your setup racing here in May versus racing here in August?
It changes things up a little bit, yeah. But also from one year in May to the other year in May, things change all the time. So you're constantly working anyway, and it just feels like another May right now. So that's fine. It's fine to me, and we've had a pretty good 6th place finish here last year during this race. So looking forward to do that again.
Yeah, that's seeming to be a challenge this year for your team. You guys obviously haven't been where you want to be, typically speaking. Obviously, this is a strong track for you guys, but how do you get that, you and Ryan, get up into that upper echelon and race for the win?
We're just going to start out strong and make the right decisions. It's going to be tough. IndyCar competition is very high. But, Ryan and I, we both know how to drive, and we drive the same way, so that helps the team quite a bit. So it'll be nice to just use that 90-minute session to really extract everything out of the car and get a good feel into qualifying.
Rinus VeeKay had an interesting answer, because I haven't spoken to him since the teammate change from Connor Daly to Ryan Hunter-Reay took place. And he gave me an interesting answer about his working with the Indy 500 champion.
Yeah, Ryan is, he's an Indy 500 winner and a IndyCar champion, so he knows how to drive, he knows how to work. So he's got a lot of experience too, almost my full lifetime. He has an IndyCar experience. So, just his preparation, his in-depth analysis of every weekend, it woke me up a little bit. It really pushed me to go deeper into the preparation and deeper into everything in the setup. And I think it's helped the team. It's helped my results and my performance. So, he's really helping me get the best out of myself. So that's great.
Would you like him next year as a teammate?
I'm not complaining. No. So. He still has a lot to learn me, so a lot to teach me, so we'll see.
I did mention that Indy NXT has a standalone race tomorrow, so we're going to try to cover it the way we would cover an IndyCar race. It's kind of like my suggestion that it should be a little bit more like the Xfinity Series, where it has its own dedicated day where we talk only Indy NXT. I keep saying NXT, don't I? Indy NXT. I'll eventually get that right. I'm going to have to put it in the swear jar. I apologize. I am trying. I haven't called it Indy Lights yet in this video yet, but don't hold me to that. We talked to 2 of the championship combatants, though not the points leader, Nolan Siegel and Hunter McElroy. Looking ahead, what you got to do to win this championship?
Win races. It's as simple as that. We just have to. I think we've done a great job. The team's done a great job. We've had a strong car every weekend, and we've had some bad luck over the past few weeks. But no, I think we need some strong events for sure. But I think that we will be strong here. We have some events lined up that have been really strong for HMD. So I think we have as good a chance as anyone right now.
And if you're curious about the points right now, here are the top 6. Christian Rasmussen is up at the top of the standings right now. Nolan Siegel, who you heard from earlier today, is in the number 2 spot. Hunter McElroy in P3, Jacob Abel in 4. Then we've got Louis Foster in P5 and Reese Gold in P6. So 6 drivers battling for the championship and the scholarship to race in IndyCar next year. And it wouldn't be one of these videos if we didn't talk about silly season. And I asked some very specific questions of some very specific drivers. There's some good answers. So I've been grilling everybody. You're the next one to get grilled. We're looking ahead. Obviously, it's becoming August is when everybody starts negotiating for next year. What are your prospects for next year? Do you want to stick with Coyne? Are there any other opportunities that you may explore? Tell me your thoughts on 2024.
Yeah, I mean, Dale Coyne is obviously the first one that comes to mind. It seems like they'd like to have me back for a second chance at doing this again, and they've been pretty good, and so I wouldn't mind being back there. There are a couple other opportunities, but it's still early days a little bit, so I can't say much. But yeah, I mean, I'm hoping to be back in the car, and it looks like I will be next year.
So August, big time for most IndyCar drivers. Typically, this is where negotiations can begin. I know when I talked to you in May, I said, how could you possibly even think about leaving Ganassi? The only other name that's really come up, at least in my ear, has been Andretti. So comment on either or team and where you are with both of them in negotiations.
There's a lot of specifics here.
Yes, there are.
Nothing is done yet, to be honest. It's this time of the year, like you say, there's always talks, and we're talking with our current team, we're talking with other teams, and we'll see here in the next few weeks what happens. But yeah, don't want to comment too much on that.
You try. I got to try with it. I said I had to give it a shot. So, slow day here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, but the pace picks up tomorrow with IndyCar qualifying, IndyCar practice session, and an Indy NXT race, as well as Xfinity, Cup, IndyCar, the rest of the weekend. This is the Brickyard. This is supposedly the last one, so thank you guys so much for watching, at least the last road course one for a little while. Thank you guys so much for watching. This has been David Land on YouTube, and I'll see you in the next video.